So welcome, Luke Nicholas from Epic Beer.
Thanks.
So what exactly is Epic Beer?
Epic is Supreme Champion Beer of New Zealand from 2006, which was, I guess, the official launch date, which was the 1st of May 2006. And yeah, Epic Beer is probably one of the best beers in New Zealand, if I don't say so myself.
Wow. So how many places do we find Epic Beer around New Zealand?
Up to 250 outlets now, which is good. It's growing fast, but it's still pretty insignificant on the big scheme of things.
And have you got some global ambitions, or is this just a Kiwi company that's locally based?
Well, the type of beer I'm making is pretty full on in flavour.
Yep.
And an aroma, and it's probably a bit challenging for the average Kiwi, so yeah, export's definitely on the cards because there's just not enough people in this country.
So you just started 12 months ago. So how did you get into 250 outlets from starting a company in just 12 months?
Yeah, a bit of a story, I guess. 12 months ago I purchased the brand off my previous employers.
Yep.
And I guess going back a step, when I became the manager of the brewing company in 2004, it was my job to sort of turn a profit for the business, and part of that was creating a new brand, and yeah, and Epic was that. So I went through the long process of creating the brand and then launching it. The owners decided they didn't want to invest in the brand,
Yeah.
and yeah, I bought it off them.
So I'm thinking brewery, I'm thinking a lot of money. How did you go over that first barrier?
Well, because I didn't have a spare $3 million to buy a bunch of stainless steel, and the brewery was, and still is running at quite a lot under capacity. Part of the arrangement with the purchase of the brand was to secure a production agreement and a supply agreement with the brewery and the pub chain that I was working with.
So you actually use the other assets of other people to get your business going?
Correct.
That seems really smart.
Yeah, well, it works for both of us because by me paying to use their equipment, they're getting a return on their investment, and I don't have to come up with a bunch of cash to buy some more stainless steel and plop it down somewhere, which would also be underutilised.
So you've got a brewery set up, I can understand that. You've got the product going, you've got a brand name. How do you get to 250 stores? What's your magic for selling and marketing?
I guess initially it was partnering with a wine company, which is kind of interesting. It's Selene Estates. They've got 3 sales reps which go out and collect orders for me around the country, and the partnership's good because they're a relatively expensive wine, and Epic's, I guess people refer to as super premium because it's around $18, $20 a six-pack. So it's about the same price point, so we're going to similar customers, and yeah, it works because it's very complementary. Where their wine's in an outlet, they can introduce the Epic, and vice versa. Epic can get them into outlets as well.
Now, I've seen your name a lot of times. It's appeared on Twitter, it's appeared on Facebook. I've seen you on madefromnewzealand.com. You seem to be all over the web. Is it a major channel for you, and how have you got there?
Is it a major channel? It's pretty much the channel when it comes to Epic. How did I get there? I guess I grew up with the web, making my first website in '95, and just seeing these tools develop over time, and yeah, I was more of a brewer than a technologist or a web designer, and when I guess acquired or created this brand Epic, I was like, well, I've got no budget to spend on advertising and billboards and that sort of stuff. I was like, well, there's a lot of free tools out there on the web, so it's like, well, the only thing I'm spending is my time getting out there and creating, I guess, communities around the brand.
So lots of people find you online, and that's where they first hear about Epic.
Yep.
How else does the community around the web help your business?
They give you a lot of direct feedback, especially through Twitter and Facebook to some degree. They'll let you know if the product's out of stock at a store, which is really cool. They'll let you know where they want it. So they'll go, my local supermarket doesn't have it, I can send the sales rep there, and they go, this customer has come and asked for it, they've told us that they want it, and the store will probably 99% of the time will stock it just because the customer wants it, and we've been able to react quite quickly. Probably within a day or two we can get there and say, hey, you've got a customer that wants to buy our product, and everyone wins. You
seem to have cracked a couple of key things that most people dream of doing. One is actually using the social marketing tools like the web to actually grow your entire business. So now you've got your supply chain taken care of by a bunch of people on the end of Twitter. That seems amazing. The second thing is you seem to have some cool factor associated with your brand. So I also see you sponsoring a lot of events, and you don't seem to spend money on marketing. How exactly do you do this?
Yeah, it's quite interesting that it's just having a few beers at, I guess, key sponsorships. It's not really big, like the Wellington Ista Awards. Was that last night? Last night.
Yep.
And yeah, they just rang up and said, hey, would you be keen to provide a few beers? But it goes a long way because you get a couple of hundred people there and there might only be a few epics sitting around, but everyone's seeing it. And it's, at the same time, it's working with, or sponsoring events with people that are in the communities that support the brand. So it's just giving a bit back. But it's, I guess it's kind of a feedback loop. It's like every time you give back, then you get more people, and they start drinking it, and it's just growing quite organically, word of mouth, but using online tools that are free.
Fantastic. So you've got 250 outlets in New Zealand. You mentioned to me a bit earlier that you're looking at going to the UK. What are the plans there?
The UK is kind of an exciting opportunity. I've been invited across as a guest brewer, or as they're referring to it, a celebrity brewer. There's a pub chain called JD Witherspoon's. They've got 700 pubs through the UK, and every year twice a year they have a beer festival where they have 50 different beers on tap, and they're bringing in 4 brewers from around the world to brew their beer. So I'm going across end of February to brew 50,000 litres of Epic Pale Ale at the Caledonian Brewery in Edinburgh, which is kind of cool, but hoping that's going to spin off into some export opportunities through people being exposed to the brand. And the guy that's coordinating it all, he's already hooking up some samples to some supermarket chains at the moment, sort of pre-Christmas. So by the time I get there, we can sit down and have some conversations about supply.
Have you travelled back and forth to the UK over the course of building Epic?
I've never been to the UK.
Wow. So most people, as I'm sure you know, spend a lot of time and money on planes and on marketing and promotion just to tap their first sales. It seems like you've already potentially opened the doors in the UK.
Yeah, well, we weren't going to go to the UK initially. It was like Australia was the first step because it's back door. We can just get across there pretty quick. And we've had about 7 people approach us now saying we want an Epic in Australia, which is sort of cool because there was no sort of plan, but now people are knocking on the door going, hey, we've heard about Epic, we've tried it, we've got to have it here in Australia, we want to distribute it for you. But because this opportunity to brew some Epic in the UK has come up, we're going to focus energy over there first.
Luke, this has been an absolute pleasure, and it's a very exciting and innovative story. I think a lot of people are going to glean a lot from what you've just managed to achieve, and if we can have more Kiwi companies managing to crack social marketing like you have and build an export business without getting on a plane first, I think we're going to be in a very special position going forward.
Cool.
Thanks for your time.
Cheers.